Hello, dear listeners, and welcome back to another Reddit video. Today, someone feels a little excluded during Christmas, but ends up finding out that their fiance's ex is completely insane. Our original post is from askamanager.org. My coworkers keep trying to find out what my chronic illness is. I'm 22, working my first job out of university while getting my master's in the evening. Most of my coworkers are at least 20 years older than me. It's rare to get a job like this right out of school, but I interned for them during my undergrad and they offered me a job after graduation. My coworkers tend to make a lot of comments about my age, personal appearances, etc., comparing me, usually positively, to their own children, introducing me to guests as our child prodigy, etc. It's all complimentary, and I know that I stand out. So even though I find it annoying and think it undermines my professionalism, I let it go. However, there's one thing that I just can't stand, pardon the pun. I have several chronic illnesses, including severe arthritis and a degenerative bone condition. As a result, I use a wheelchair for distances, although I can walk. I usually take the public transit to work, and as a result, am usually in my wheelchair. However, recently my partner has started working close to my job and she has a car. The distance from our apartment to the parking lot and from the street to my desk is short enough that I've been using my forearm crutches instead. The first time my coworkers saw me with my crutches, they were all shocked and confused, even though I have never claimed to be paralyzed. When they asked me why I used my wheelchair at all if I could walk, I explained that I have severe chronic illnesses and that my mobility was variable. Most let it go at that, but a couple of them, Barb and Sandra, who are the most frequent offenders with the child prodigy talk, asked for details I wasn't comfortable with giving. Now, every time either of them is in the room with me, they ask increasingly invasive questions. Once, both of them were in the break room with me, and Barb asked, "Is it terminal?" And I said no. She turned to Sandra and said, "Well, this is not MS. Cross that one off the list." I think that Barb and Sandra are playing a kind of weird game of 20 questions to figure out what's wrong with me. Others have been present when they talk to me about it, and nobody seems to think it's inappropriate. I mentioned it to my supervisor, and she, a colleague of Barb and Sandra, they're the same age and have been working here since we opened, said that they were just showing that they care. Am I off base here? It seems wildly inappropriate, but I don't have the formal or informal standing to shut it down. Update. First, I want to thank you and all the readers for your advice and compassion. I particularly want to thank some of the comments which pointed out that I felt like I couldn't push back on their comments because of the age difference. They were right. And it's been really helpful for me to realize that I tend to go along with a lot of things that make me uncomfortable in the office because the perceived authority that comes with age, even when those giving the directions don't actually have any authority over me or my job. On to the update. I wish I had better news, but it's been a mixed bag. I used some of your scripts with Barb and Deb, and it got some of the comments to die down, except now they've been telling other coworkers that I'm too arrogant, that I shut them down when they're trying to help, and have suggested that I think I'm better than a couple of old ladies. I promise you that is not an accurate description of me or my actions. I always try and acknowledge how valuable their contributions are, and I'm very careful to be polite and conscientious. So, in that arena, at least, I don't think my job is going to get any easier in the near future. I'm very grateful to have a job in my field at all, especially as we just elected a governor where I live that is going to make it even more difficult to find full-time jobs in social work, my field. I love the client-faced part of my job, and it feels like I'm making a difference. So even if there was a possibility to find a comparable job in this market and with my experience level, there isn't, it would be very difficult for me to leave it. However, there is a bright spot. One of my other part-time jobs involves getting anti-oppression and equity training, mostly for government agencies, NGOs, and schools. My great-grandboss, who founded our organization, was in attendance at one recently. Afterwards, she approached me and complimented me on my skills and asked if I would consider writing and giving similar training to our staff. All of us. It might be petty, but ableism and anti-ableism make a pretty significant part of the training, and I am really looking forward to looking Barb and Deb in the eyes as I give it. Great-grandpa seems to think I have potential and indicated that she was really happy I was a part of the organization. She seemed to think I have a future here, which I remind myself every time Barb glares at me in the kitchen or Deb says loudly, "I think it's terrible that people take advantage of accommodations when they don't really need it." For the record, my only workplace accommodations are an adjustable height desk that I can fit my wheelchair under, and a speech-to-text software on my work computer for when my arthritis is flaring up too badly to type. I hope I have a more positive update for you soon. Thank you again for your kindness and knowledge. Our next post is from Write Essay and was originally posted on Am I the A-Hole? Am I the a-hole for wanting to end my relationship because my fiancé wants to spend Christmas with his daughter and ex-wife? I, 29 female, met my fiancé, 35 male, 5 years ago. He had a 2-year-old daughter who he had shared custody with his ex-wife, 40 female. I always admired his friendship with his ex and how they were raising their daughter amicably. The first Christmas, he told me he was going to spend it with his ex-wife and baby. I didn't even think about it because we had only been dating for a few months. I usually fly home to my parents on Christmas anyway. This happened every Christmas afterwards, and I was fine. He proposed to me in February. Yesterday, he asked me if I was going to buy my flight to my parents early so I don't need to pay 3 to 4 times the cost if I want to buy it around Christmas. I was surprised. I told him I thought we were going to spend Christmas together this year. He said, "What?" We, his ex-wife and he, always celebrate Christmas together for their daughter's sake. I told him that it was not okay now that we were engaged to be married. I asked him why they don't do alternate Christmases or days like other divorced couples, but he said no, we promised to make our daughter's life as normal as possible. I started thinking after about his words. I don't know how this will work in the future. After 5 years together, I'm still shipped away every Christmas, and I know it's for the little girl who I adore, but I feel sick to my stomach. I think I want to end the relationship, but he thought I was being so selfish and horrible. I feel horrible too, but I don't see any future with him. Update. Fiancé just got home and showed me a text he got from his ex. He basically told her that he was planning to include me in this Christmas. Her answer was long and harsh, saying that I wasn't really family yet and that she wasn't comfortable with a stranger in her house. She then accused him of being weak and prioritizing a woman over his daughter who's in a sensitive age right now. So he asked me that maybe not this year, but next year I'm definitely family because we will be married and his ex won't have any other excuses. I feel more conflicted now. Could I stay another year and hope it gets better? Or should I just cut my losses when he obviously isn't trying to support me? I know it's his daughter he's thinking of and he doesn't want to make waves, but I feel like I'm nothing right now. Someone in the comments says, "This is strange for long term. Have a serious discussion about what the future looks like. Once you have a family, the dynamics will change for his daughter and your future children. If he's planning on focusing in the ex's opinion long term, you gotta move on now." LP responded, "Thank you. I felt doubt that maybe it wasn't my place to ask him to be with me this Christmas, like I'm not that important in his life." Another commenter says, "That's what I'm wondering as well. If he's not allowing her to go with him for Christmas, it seems extremely insensitive, but at the same time, I could see the whole keep it normal for the daughter. This situation is messy due to a young child who doesn't understand divorce yet." LP responds, "She does understand divorce since she's been living with us every other week. If she understands, then I think it's fair for you to get some Christmas for yourself and she gets them before or after Christmas, like divorce should be, and other years she gets Christmas Day and you see your parents. Kinda strange to consider breaking the engagement that fast. Talk it out with your fiancé. Maybe he doesn't understand your pain. I know. I don't know how to make him understand my pain. I asked him why he isn't doing like any other divorced people, and I honestly think it's healthier for the little girl. When I asked him what he'll do when we have children, he said, well, they'll have me all year. What is Christmas compared to a whole year? He later told me he was joking around, but I don't know. It didn't feel like a joke. LP also explains the breakup with the ex. Ex cheated on and left him for her affair partner when she got caught. Affair partner went back to his wife after a couple months, but my fiancé didn't take his ex back. She tormented her affair partner's wife, who had just found out her marriage is over. She tormented her everywhere to the degree that affair partner and his wife reconnected. She found out she was pregnant and it was my fiancé's. He wanted shared custody from the start. He will reject her no matter if he's single or not, because even if he doesn't say it and pretends otherwise, he doesn't even like her or her personality. I once heard him talking to his mom and saying that he can't even believe he once liked her. Then he said, never mind, as long as she's a good mother and we get along, that's the most important. Besides these 3 days, my fiancé has no interest in calling or texting his ex about anything but his daughter. If he wanted more, he would have wanted her the rest of the year too. He's even too grateful when I pick the little girl up from her mother sometimes because he can't stand her manners or personality. These 3 days are spent with other family members, both his ex's family, but his as well. Not only him with her. The ex cheated on him and he never wanted anything to do with her since he found out. And according to many in the family, the love was gone even before her affair. They weren't happy. And he was firm saying no each time his ex tried to get back together with him or asked for marriage counseling. When he found out the child was his, he still didn't want anything to do with his ex, just 50% custody. I know it's romantic for people here to ship them together, with no regards to my feelings. And honestly, if they do, I totally understand. At least the little one can have her parents together, but I know that the chances are slim to none. But you can believe whatever, and I won't delete this comment even if I find downvotes to be hurtful. I know my fiance well. He will sure move on if we break up, but hopefully he learns from his mistakes with me and sets boundaries with his ex about holidays, including his partners. OP also revealed, to be honest, I'm 8 weeks pregnant, and I hesitated to write it here because I haven't even told him yet. Then I asked him about our future children and him not being around every Christmas, and he replied that it's only fair. It broke me. The verdict was not the a-hole, and I wholeheartedly agree. Update. My fiance and I have been in constant conversation about what happened, and I have sensed that he's basically terrified of rocking the boat. I don't know if he's scared of his ex or something, but he keeps saying that his daughter is the one who's going to pay should he and his ex start fighting. Anyway, he said that he understands that this wasn't an ultimate solution, and that he and I are family now. He said he will talk with his ex about a new arrangement. He's done that now and told his ex that he wanted Christmas at our house this year, as per their custody agreement. Christmas and other holidays should be on alternate years with each parent, and that she's welcome to spend Christmas Eve with us since she doesn't feel comfortable having me at her house. She called him about 100 times, screaming and hauling insults on him, telling him he was a moron choosing our intimacy over his own daughter and that he was a worthless coward and a piece of garbage. He stopped answering her after a while. She sent him an email last night where she's going to talk to her lawyer to get full custody and threatening that he will never see his daughter again. I was shocked because I've never seen her escalate like this, and I feel guilty for starting this whole thing. I apologized to my fiance, but he said that it wasn't my fault and he knew this would happen, but that it was time to take this battle as he always knew he would need to sooner or later. He didn't sleep and has been sad, but he said he wasn't worried about her threats because she can't do anything, but he hates that she is probably going to use his daughter against him when he promised himself to never do that. He said he has been compliant all these years for his daughter's sake. He always knew this day was coming when he can't just be a doormat anymore. I don't know what to do. I still feel responsible for what happened, and I hate seeing him distraught and sad. I haven't even told him we're expecting either. I feel empty. In the comments, someone asked, can he use these threats and emails against her in court? I don't think that she will win. I'm pretty sure she's going to lose more than him. He said he can. It was like this when his daughter was born and she tried to pressure into getting back together with threats and intimidation about not giving him custody or letting him see her. That's why he said he isn't worried about her, but I now understand why he's been so reluctant to take matters into his own hands. He knows his ex, and he knows his daughter will end up being the one hurting seeing his parents' true colors. I told him that I was fine with spending Christmas with my parents this year. He said no. He needs to put his foot down. Someone in the comment says, wow, no wonder she's his ex-wife. This isn't a normal reaction, obviously. Save everything in case there really is a custody fight. Threatening him could be considered parental alienation. Good for your husband making a stand. Clearly this will affect his daughter, but that's on his ex, not him. It's her rage that will traumatize the kid. LP responds, between calls and missed calls, she's contacted him 105 times, around 60 texts, and 2 professional emails. She just texted an apology to him and that she overreacted. She wants to discuss matters civilly now and is asking to meet. Well, we're supposed to pick her up tomorrow, but her mother just sent an email that she's having her this week because they're going on a trip. Thank you, dear listeners, for tuning in to another Reddit video. If you would like to, click another video. And if you would be so kind as to like and subscribe. Thank you very much.